You need new cabinets for your kitchen remodel, but with so many options out there, where do we even start? What are some key things to look for when deciding on cabinetry? In less than 10 minutes, you will possess information it took me 6 years to acquire working at a cabinet shop. You'll be a much more informed customer and save yourself a headache and a pile of cash. Today, I will show you the general anatomy of a cabinet and material choices from the high-end down, kitchen design options and budget considerations, popular and trending styles. Lastly, I will share some tips and tricks on how to achieve an overall successful kitchen remodel. Alright, so we're starting off with anatomy and material of a cabinet. Cabinet doors are made from a variety of materials and sometimes a mix of a few materials. Here are the three that are most popular in the USA, from most to least costly. Solid wood, such as cherry, oak, and hickory. The best thing about solid wood doors is they can be stained to your liking and refinished later if the need arises. These door styles also bring in the highest costs. Typically, only high-end custom cabinet shops can get you results worth paying for. So the pros of that, they're durable, they can be refinished, and they have a really natural look. Cons, expensive, can warp with humidity as well. Second, solid wood frame with a high-density fiberboard middle panel. HDF, or high-density fiberboard, is a type of engineered wood board, specifically a fiberboard. In this scenario, you're getting a quality door for a much lesser price that is superior as warping is concerned, versus solid wood. The wood that is used in these types of doors is typically a birch or maple. The combination of the materials is ideal for painting and gives off a smooth and stable paint job. So that's the second. Third and cheapest option is a particle board door. It's often used in builder-grade cabinets as it is cost-effective and easy to achieve a good paint outcome. The cons are it won't last as long as the options mentioned prior. Also, it's not water resistant, so it must be sealed very well. Before we move on to the cabinet box itself, some other types of doors out there include wood veneer and laminate doors. Less common, but they are out there. So, solid wood. Next up is a mix of solid wood and HDF. Third and cheapest option is particle board. That's what's most commonly used out there in the United States. Next up in anatomy and material of cabinetry, kitchen cabinet boxes. The structural part of the cabinet that holds the shelves and drawers, just as the doors we spoke of. The boxes are typically made from one of the following materials. Materials used affects the cabinet's strength, moisture resistance, longevity, and price. The current best material for cabinet boxes continues to be solid plywood. Plywood is constructed with layers of wood veneer glued together with alternating grain direction. Common thickness is 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch. At AB Cabinetry, we use both of those, 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch. Our American shaker cabinets all have grade A 1/2 inch ply, and the European series holds a 3/4 inch melamine wrapped plywood. 3/4 inch, folks, it's pretty strong. The pros of plywood are it's strong, it's lightweight, resists warping and moisture, and holds screws very well. Some cons, generally more expensive than MDF or particle board, and what it's best for is mid to high-end cabinets and areas with higher humidity. HDF boxes, or high-density fiberboard. So there's HDF and there's MDF, so HDF is the better of the two, high density. Construction, denser and stronger than MDF, just as mentioned. Pros, more moisture resistant and durable than MDF, smoother finish. Cons, more expensive than MDF, still not as strong as plywood. Best for painted interiors or higher end RTA cabinets. The worst of the bunch, particle board or chipboard. Construction, compressed wood chips, and resin. Okay, so you've all seen, cheaper particle board, and some builder grade cabinets do have it, so you get what you pay for in this scenario. Pros, it's very cheap, uniform, and commonly used in budget cabinets. Cons, it's weak, it sags over time, poor screw holding, and vulnerable to water damage. Best for very low budget kitchens and perhaps even rental properties. Alright, there you have it, folks. Let's move into the hardware of the cabinets. Cabinet hardware refers to the functional and decorative components used to open, close, and support cabinet doors and drawers. Here's a breakdown of the most common types. Concealed or Euro-style hinges, so it's hidden when the door is closed. They're very common in frameless and modern cabinetry, and some features typically include soft closing, and it's adjustable in more than one direction. Number 2, exposed hinges. Exposed hinges are visible from the outside. They're often used in traditional or rustic designs. You might have seen them in your grandmother's house, and they're typically not soft closing, they're slam closing. Drawers hold a lot of weight and get used frequently. It's important these things are sturdy. Here are some types of drawer hardware types. Side mount slides that are typically mounted on the sides of the drawer box, visible when open, and can be soft close or standard non-soft closing. Undermount glides or slides, mounted under the drawer, hidden from view, typically feature soft close and full extension, and it's a premium choice for modern or high-end cabinets, and we do use undermount slides. Center mount slides. Single rail mounted underneath the drawer, less common, and it's used in lighter duty applications typically. To summarize the anatomy of a cabinet before moving into design and budget considerations. Door material, typical choices include solid wood with HDF center panel, and particle board. So those are your door options, typically. Box material choices include solid plywood, HDF, or particle board. Hardware choices consist of visible or hidden options, soft closing, and not. Obviously, the soft closing and the hidden options are going to cost just a little bit more, but definitely look out for those because, well, it is 2025. They're pretty nice. Design and budget considerations. I've explained to you the material differences commonly used in cabinetry. The better the materials, the more things will cost. However, it does not always have to be that way. Through my experience working at AB Cabinetry, we have received competitor quotes that were twice the amount we charge for the same exact materials. Twice. My duty in this video is to inform you, so you become an educated consumer in order not to get ripped off. Let's take a quick example, compare ABC and RTA store. Alrighty folks, so let's go ahead and take a look, and we'll take a look at the specs right after this. So again, this on the left is abcabinetry.com, and this is RTA Cabinet Store. They've been in business for about, I believe, 15, 16 years now, maybe even longer. But anyways, that's not the point. Here are the prices. So base 15, drawer on top, doors on the bottom, $254. Over here, we've got $195, okay? Base 24, over here we've got $332. Over here we've got $258. Makes sense? All right, we got a base 30. Here we've got $426, and here we've got $323. Next up, drawer base, Lazy Susan 36. $662, $397. Okay. Next up here, we have 3 drawer base 24, $472, and $339. Next up, let's take a look at the specs. All right, so here are the specs. Again, left side is AB Cabinetry and right side is RTA Cabinet Store for the cabinets that we just covered. Here we have a door style shaker, of course, so this white shaker. Door frame, 3/4 inch HDF, and here we have 5-piece 3/4 inch frame. It's birch. Their door center is also HDF. This door center is also HDF 3/8, and it's going to be the same. Let's see what else we have here. Sides, 1/2 inch plywood, and here we've got 1/2 inch plywood as well. Shelves, 5/8 of an inch plywood shelves, and they're edge banded, and we have the same thing over here. So as you can see, they're very, very similar cabinets. In fact, these are birch and these are HDF frames, but one side is much, much higher than the other side. So what I'm trying to explain to you people is just make sure you do your own due diligence and do some research before you make any choices on cabinetry, because you will see this happening all the time, everywhere. One of your quotes might be 20,000 and the other one might be 12 for the same exact stuff. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but I'm just the messenger here. Let's continue. First thing to consider in budgeting and design is the use scenario. Are these cabinets going into a rental or a forever home? Even if they're going into a rental, is it a high-end or a low-end rental? Once you figure out the scenario, you can choose between low, mid, or high-end cabinets and focus your shopping efforts for those. Next, think about the storage needs and volume. For example, if you have a large kitchen and most of the space is not being used, can we shrink the footprint? Can we perhaps remove some of the wall cabinets and add wooden floating shelves? Do you need fancy pullouts, Lazy Susans, drawers, and dividers, or will doors just suffice? This is a factor that has the potential to increase or decrease your budget by a significant amount, something you must think about. At this point, you should have a good idea of the cabinetry materials that are out there, as well as some things to consider as your budget is concerned. Once you have your wants, the next best step is to start with a free kitchen design. The way it works is you measure the space needed using the guide provided. Measurements include ceiling height, windows, wall lengths, etc. Within 72 hours, you will have a design and renderings completed that you will own. Equipped with this, you'll be able to obtain quotes from contractors to do the actual work. To learn more about what you should expect from contractors, watch the video linked in the description below. Alright folks, popular and trending cabinet styles. Working at a store that serves cabinetry nationwide, we're on the front lines of wants, needs, and desires. Customers talk and we listen. In the last 6 months to a year, folks have been asking for warm tones like greige and caramel are replacing cooler grays, bringing a cozy and inviting feel to kitchens. These colors work well both in modern and traditional settings. Wood tones. It has become all about natural and organic styles. Pale, medium, and dark woods are very in. It seems that people want to simplify their lives as much as possible and perhaps even go back in time. in one way or another. White will always be a clean and desired look, hence why it continues to top the sales charts. It is easy to match with existing furniture, flooring, and walls. Remodeling success tips. I've seen many go through here, and I've heard many stories, positive and negative. Finally, some tips and tricks to aid you in a successful kitchen remodeling. Do your research and set a realistic budget. That's where people really get a headache. Make sure that you understand what it's going to cost and the time it's going to take. Include labor, materials, appliances, and a 10 to 20% contingency. Prioritize where to spend and where to skimp out if necessary. Get 3 quotes for each part of the job and make a well-informed decision. Be sure to interview your contractors and make some form of contract with them. Don't buy online without purchasing samples, especially when purchasing greens, blues, and wood tones. The colors will vary dramatically in different lighting. Order everything before you demo. I can't explain how many times I've heard of people demolishing their kitchen only to have a snag in their appliance delivery or something along the lines. Yeah, don't live without a kitchen, it's not that fun. I sincerely hope I've been able to shed some light on kitchen cabinetry, how things are constructed, and how they work in general. AB Cabinetry has helped more than 11,000 families across America, and I'm sure they can help yours as well. If you need help or a free kitchen design or kitchen cabinet samples, the team is there and they will surely help out. Bye-bye now. Thank you so much for watching.